Hey all, and today we delve into darkness as we look at the latest Transformers, War for Cybertron, Netflix Wave 2 spoiler box. Of course I'm talking about it, as everyone knows by now, Nemesis Prime along with his minions, and that's going to be our focus this time around in the latest GotBot True review. Hey all, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, your most humble of hosts, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, man, please like, comment, share, of course, subscribe, and while you're at it, light them up, baby. And hit that notification bell, please. It helps me out a ton. It lets you know when content of all sorts goes up here on the channel. Check out Machinery of Man, The Everything Factor, Transformers Collectors NL, The Autobot Family, Transformers vs. G.I. Joe vs. DC Universe vs. Marvel, and Autobot City Central, as well as all of my social media links. They are all in the description below. If you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon. See what we offer to you through Teespring, especially now with the holidays coming up. And, of course, you can hit the join button right here on YouTube and become a channel member. And yes, we're about to delve into what secrets, what mysteries, and what spoilers lie within the case, the container that houses Nemesis Prime. We know Nemesis Prime himself is in there, but what about the mysterious Giza and Fangtron, and what else awaits us? Well, without any further ado, let's head over to the table and take a closer look at this set. So I wanted to start off and say that it's time for the exciting mystery of what's in this box, because of course it's a spoiler box, right? And I realized a couple of things. One, obviously by now you've seen the title. Two, this is darker than the box for Ultra Magnus. But three, it's kind of hard to be a spoiler box when you got a picture of Nemesis Prime right here on the side. Spoiler, he's on the side of the box. Still, I like it. This, of course, is a tie-in to the War for Cybertron Netflix series. My favorite part of the box, however, my very favorite part, is here on the back where you have all the contents and whatnot. And the black goop is called Compound. And then, as Starscream White pointed out, and it's very important you know this, contains wheat. I mean, let's not worry about all the other poison that's probably in this compound. Let's be concerned that it contains wheat. Speaking of which, this is the black goop that they call Compound. It's very much like a Play-Doh-ish-y, modeling clay-like substance. Now, it also says, like, don't eat this. I don't think that eating this would be on the plan for really anybody, but you never know. Somebody might want to be like, hey, what does this black goop taste like? And if you dig through this black goop long enough, you get rewarded with 3 little Energon cubes. Look, I'm not going to complain. I'm all for extra Energon cubes, so I'm cool with this. He also comes with a great big sheet of instructions. This thing is double-sided. They're nice, they're bright, they're big. We can see that we have Nemesis Prime, Giza, and Fangtron. So now he doesn't have only one minion, he has 2 minions. Speaking of which, here we have minion number 1, Giza. Giza is basically a bird sword. If you know the Power of the Prime's Leader Class Evolution Nemesis Prime, then you know that Giza came there. This is the exact same sword mold. The eye is not painted red on this one, and I think the plastic is a little lighter. I don't have the Power of the Prime's one because I thought that the scale was too big. At least it was for my taste. Nevertheless, you can split the blade, and it comes out on the side, and then you flip up the wings, and now you have a bird minion thing. I think this is cool. Like, it's not super duper functional, but it's kind of neat that he has a little minion. Kind of like his own version of like a Laserbeak type of dude. He also has this minion, Fangtron, and of course this is like another version of Slitherfang, except this time instead of purple translucent plastic, we have this solid pinky plastic. Pinkish, I guess. There's a peg here. Of course, you can use it as like a shield, or because of the connectors, this can go attached as a extra ramp piece. The transformation is, again, super simple. You flip it up like this. You flip that down over the chest, and here's the head. The mouth does open and close. He can swivel here. Nice paint, nice gunmetal gray on the hood sections here. It's fine. I like the Slitherfang. I guess this is fine. I I think I would have preferred red over pink, but whatever, it's cool, I guess. We have two of these like kind of massive arm cannon-y things. They came again with the Evolution Power of the Primes version. So they're a little oversized for this guy. There are two pegs back here. Neither of them are centered. These struggle to go on in certain locations. There's only a couple places they can go. They're obviously not meant to go with this guy, but you know what? Cool, I'm not going to turn down that they were included. We have literally the exact same ion blaster that came with Optimus Prime. I don't even think the shade of black is any different. This is the ion blaster that came with the Siege Optimus Prime, not the Earthrise. I kind of like this one better, actually. And we have this gigantic, I think it's called Dark Saber. It's a huge sword. Again, it came with the Evolution Power of the Primes Optimus, or Nemesis. It was included here. It kind of fits in his hand. It's not the most comfortable fit, let's put it that way, but it looks really, really cool. And perhaps the thing that I like the best, that makes me the most happy, is that he comes with a trailer. Now again, this is a reuse of the Leader Class Earthrise Optimus Prime trailer, so it's so strange. We have parts here from the Power of the Primes Nemesis Prime, we have the Earthrise trailer, so it's all kind of coming together in a weird mix, but I like this. It's cast in black. I like the stripes and whatnot going down the side. I could have done without the Decepticon symbol because I see Nemesis as more non-aligned, so I don't know if there's anything I'd be able to do to rectify that, but if there was, that'd be great, because I would personally like to have him kind of non-aligned. I don't know, maybe mark it out black, you know, like, no Decepticons here, like, I don't know. But it's an idea. Nevertheless, it looks really good. The stripes look really good. When you open it up, it is a stark black. Of course, this whole piece, it is the repair bay arm. It still comes up. It can still detach it. It can still go on his back. This here piece can go down. You can attach Fangtron to it, or of course you can remove it and it becomes like an arm shield. And lastly, here's the wacky and wild Nemesis Prime with literally all of his accessories. The trailer, the Energon cubes, he has one shield down on one calf section of his leg, he has Fangtron on the other calf section of his leg, he's dual wielding both the Dark Saber or Dark whatever it is, sword, and Giza. He has the huge blasters on his forearms, he has the repair drone on his back, and his ion blaster on his back. He can accommodate it in robot mode, but boy, oh boy, you want to talk about a walking artillery unit. But what about the robot himself? That's the main event here after all. Well, of course, the first thing to talk about is going to be his paint applications, but before we kind of give a grade to that, I want to make a note of the fact that a previous version of a Siege Nemesis Prime was released by Takara, kind of exclusively, and that deco is quite different. In fact, here's what that one looks like next to this one. Now, as you can see, there's a lot more of like the tealy bright green on the one that came from Japan. Things that I like better about that one. I like that that one has the biceps a solid black, the arms are complete solid black. I may paint the biceps, I'm not sure. Outside of that, I like the fact that this one has like a silvery gray stripe kind of here on the chest. I like that the only kind of tealy accent that we have is right here on the lights on his pelvis. I feel like, and Starscream Wife said this, that this almost gunmetal gray rather than a stark black is a little more gritty and a little more sinister and a little more evil. There's more red here in truck mode too compared to the teal. And the tires don't have like teal rims, they have silver rims. So overall, I like the look of this better. For a Nemesis Prime, I'm going to say that this is a solid 9 to a 9.5. It's a great start. The only thing that I personally would change would be the black on the biceps. I also wouldn't have a Decepticon logo, but every Nemesis Prime always does. It is what it is. Here's how he looks next to, and yes indeed, here he is next to his mold mate, the Siege Optimus Prime, the original Siege Optimus Prime, who I looked at in episode 494. I've done a bunch of custom work on this guy. I also looked at him, kind of, in episode 658 next to the cell-shaded version, and in 667 when I compared the Siege to the Earthrise Optimus. Speaking of Earthrise Optimus, here they are together, and I kind of like this, like it's the same but different, if that makes any sense. And finally, next to my KO Age of Extinction Nemesis Prime, and I like this guy. He's appeared in Universal Collision. He's a great Nemesis Prime, but it's really hard to beat that G1-ish inspired look for me, and it's really hard to beat the faceplate because the KO has the face, and it's really hard to beat the fact that the guy comes with a trailer. So we have a 9 to a 9.5, and we've seen the comparisons. What about the articulation for this guy? Honestly, I think the articulation on this guy is even better than it was on the Siege. The tolerances are oddly improved as far as I'm concerned. The head, of course, left, right, and up and down. The arms can go all the way around. By the way, when the head goes up and down, like, you'll notice that I'm not kind of pulling up the chest piece here, like you do sort of with Optimus, or with my copy of Optimus anyway. The arms can go all the way out to the side. We have a nice tight elbow to over 90 degrees, probably 100 degrees. We have an a bicep swivel. We have a wrist swivel. We have a waist swivel. The legs can go all the way out to the side. They can, of course, go really all the way back. That's my dog. You probably hear the bells. That's my dog. The legs can also kick forward that far. A little bit further would be nice. It'd be nice if this hip skirt could slightly go up. We have a swivel that is kind of like built into the knee, which I like. And we have a super deep knee, as well as toe tilt forward and back, heel tilt forward and back, and an ankle tilt. Honestly, the only thing that this guy could have, maybe that he doesn't have, would be articulated fingers like the Earthrise Optimus. Maybe. I don't know why they chose the Siege mold to use instead of the Earthrise. Maybe because they already used the Earthrise for that, you know, alternate universe dead Optimus. Either way, I'm cool with it. I like this mold. I think it's a great mold. I'm going to say that the transformation, or sorry, the articulation is, again, a solid 9.5, 9.75. Right now, the guy's easily a 9.5. He is a really good version of Nemesis Prime. The transformation, I can tell you now, I have shown it going in both directions. I've already mentioned those previous reviews. I think most people know how the transformation goes. I'm going to score the transformation at a... I love it. I really do. The only thing I'll note here, I'm going to score it at a 10. The only thing I'm going to note here is that the front tires I find on the Siege Optimus, it's harder for them to kind of come like out of this section of his body and go push back in. I find they come out and push back in a lot smoother on this guy. So we don't need to go through the transformation. I've already done it in both directions with the Siege Optimus, and then the other way from truck back to robot with the 35th anniversary Optimus. So with an overall score of 9.75, here's how he looks in truck mode. And yes, here we have him in truck mode, and there's a lot to discuss here. First things first, when I went through all the accessories, I neglected one. Yes, there was still another accessory to go. It's this little blast effect. It's the exact same, like, impact blast effect that we've gotten with all of the base, or not base, plank formers we'll call them, like Sound Barrier and Double Crosser and Slitherfang. It's an impact effect, which I love. This one is red or pinkish. I like that it's not orange, so I absolutely dig that. Here's where some of the difficulty, however, comes in. The trailer can work with the Siege mold, but you don't have quite the same mobility. That's okay. You get enough. You certainly get enough. The Giza and Fangtron I have put in the back. They're just kind of piled in there, as is that dark sword, whatever it is. That's piled in there. The two big, I don't know, Power of the Primes, like arm blaster, double cannon things, they can go pegged on top up here, or, which by the way looks idiotic, or they can go on the doors here, which still looks idiotic, or you could do what I do and just take them off and kind of, if you want, you could throw them in the back too. Some people have said, it doesn't all fit in the back. Yes, it does. It does all fit in the back. Not pretty, but it does fit. So, just to prove it, we'll take that one and we'll pitch that in there, and we'll take this one and we'll pitch it in there. And maybe I do have to reorient things here a little bit. It does fit. So with some slight fiddling and finagling, yes, I did get everything, including the Energon cubes, in his trailer. The only thing that's not in there is the compound, because, you know, why would you put that in there? It's not pretty, it's not comfortable, things don't store well. I would probably end up leaving Giza and Fangtron out, really. You know, why not? They're kind of sentient, I assume, minions. Here he is next to the Siege Optimus Prime with the Earthrise trailer. This is my custom Siege Optimus. This one does not have the, like, eyebrow lights. I cut them off a long time ago and done a bunch of custom work there, but I left them on Nemesis because I find that with the red grille and the red headlights and the red, I don't know, eyebrow lights and the red windshield, like everything about that just screams evil coming down the road, and I love it. Also, here he is with my go-to, the Optimus that I use for my personal collection. That's right, we have Nemesis Prime now with my Earthrise Optimus Prime, but I put the Second Chance trailer with him. I love this trailer. I feel like it scales slightly better, but you know what? I'm not going to complain about having the trailer with Nemesis Prime. I'm really not. When these two go head to head, I love it. I think it looks so cool. So final analysis. So at the end of the day, what can I say? The guy overall is about a 9.5, 9.75. He is fantastic, but it's situational. If you went in on the Power of the Primes version, then I could see you almost feeling a little ripped off here, because you're going to say, hey, I already have a lot of these accessories and stuff and things. For me, I don't. So I look at it and say, I get a robot that's scaled excellent. He comes with a trailer. 2 minions, a bunch of accessories, as well as a blast effect, even energon cubes. Like, to me, I think this is totally worth it, and he may very well stand as a definitive version of Nemesis Prime. But, again, like I said, that's extremely situational. The call obviously has to be yours. But if you're in the same situation as me, then I think that this one is absolutely worth it, and I think you're going to be really happy to add him to your collection as much as I'm happy to add him to mine. And here we are once again, and here he is, or they are, because everything is in the trailer here. Look, I really enjoyed the Siege Optimus mold. It did get usurped by the Earthrise. Not because it wasn't as good, but because the Earthrise just captured that truck mode better for me. I liked the Nemesis Prime that I had because I enjoyed the Age of Extinction mold, but to be fair, I do like this mold better. I like the robot mode better, and while I could do without the truck eyebrows, I do find that they add to the evil nature of Nemesis Prime. The big kind of selling point for me is the addition of the trailer, because when you see this big, bad-looking dude barreling down the road at you, you know trouble is coming. It's an extra bonus that we get Giza. It's an extra bonus that we get Fangtron. For those who already had the Power of the Primes Evolution version, I could see that you might be thinking to yourself, I already got half the stuff that's in here. This is very dependent on the type of collector you are and whether or not you have a representation of Nemesis Prime already, and whether or not you're happy with that representation of Nemesis Prime already. I also prefer this over the Takara version, even though the Takara version has all black arms. I feel like that this looks grittier, and that kind of makes it look a little bit nastier, at least to me. I think the set's absolutely worth it. Of course, I would love to hear what you guys think. Do you like this guy? Did you pass on him? I appreciate all you guys coming by, giving me some of your extremely valuable time, man. I do know how important it is to you. If you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon, see what we offer to you through Teespring, or of course you can hit the join button right here on YouTube. Don't forget that somehow, someway, each and every single day, man, you do make a difference, and I look forward to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit. Either in the live streams at the stop motion premieres, or the old fashioned way, baby, right here inside the videos.